Russia's got it figured out how many innocents there are in the Western Empire and what the answer to it is. And, these are moments I've been waiting since my birth as a toddler to reshape the earth. If you could actually, say as a kid, you have hope and peace and freedom beaten into you and drugged into you and raped into you. So you think maybe someday something will change. And of course, obviously your first answer is, we're gonna have to fucking stop these fuckers. And so, literally, I just sit in a room my entire fucking life waiting for Russia, China, and the rest of the world to begin liberating their fucking selves and shit. And, Middle East, Africa, fucking everyone. Except for our greatest allies, who will beat it, rape it, and drug it into you that they are your greatest allies, or else the beatings, the rapings, and the druggings continue. So don't take this video, the wrong way. I'm just telling you, what the logical conclusion to Earth and everything that happens. Every story in the past is written telling you what's going to happen, what needs to happen. The only thing that ever does happen, you have these people going around stealing every fucking thing and fucking harassing everyone, forcing their way into your life, into your nation, into your city, into your state, into your house, into... They force you to marry them, they force you to breed with them, they force you to start killing off your family members who don't worship them. And so, you learn this in a blink of an eye. The second, pretty much they can tell you one paragraph of their story. Yeah, we're bringing peace and freedom to the world, and Santa Claus is coming too. And by the time they're done with that sentence, you've already put it all together and shit. As a little toddler, it's that simple to see. So, it's like, really, you become the idiot when you think that someone else doesn't actually know that, and they're actually being honest when they speak. I mean, literally, these are going to be the same people talking to you about flying invisible reindeer and peace, freedom, and love and truth and hope. Flying invisible reindeer shit. And you should know that this 10% of the time you think that they're being honest, that they're not. You should know these things, right? But thanks to the beautiful creation of drugs and peace, love, freedom, and hope, a lot of people who don't believe in that are just killed. So that genetic line gets removed from the planet 6,000 years ago. If you have the ability to not believe everything you're told, then you got killed when you were in a cave. Imagine this world, these people in this world, when caves existed. You go to a cave, you're living in a cave, and then someone comes around and they're like, ooga booga, there's a big giant flying dragon outside burning down everything, and I'm gonna need you to pay me some money to protect you from it, because the dragon has a bunch of allies who look a lot like me, who are going to kill you along with the dragon, if we don't figure out a way to protect ourselves from the dragon. So I'm going to need some money from you to protect you from the invisible flying dragon and his 8 shiny invisible reindeer and stuff. And, so that was 6,000 years ago. When that began and shit, fucking at least, because we only it probably could have been a lot worse before they invented writing, to start writing their words down, which is isn't that weird? That's where books come from. Books, the original book, is these people just scamming people. So it's like did they invent writing? Are books in writing? Is language invented just to scam people? Because why else wasn't there a different book before that? Like, why is AM radio the same thing? It's the same thing. Why isn't there anything else on AM radio except for this book? And like, I thought radio was different than books. Oh my God, radio make you retarded. Well, if it's making you retarded, they're reading from a book. So yeah, it really, all this stuff adds up in like a millisecond for me. Like, I get like preempted and shit, like I can like sense there's going to be someone around the corner outside when I go out there and shit. Fucking, so maybe it's a little bit different for me, but the reality here is, we can legit look at this, at Russia's history, and understand that there probably are no good people on this planet. But we can be hopeful. We get high, bro. Smoke some marijuana, fry your brain, erase your memories, so you can have some hope. And, fill your head with some false bullshit. And be like, hey, look at that. Someone's actually doing something about them. But, the reality of that is that, they were already taken over 100 years ago, pretty openly. Every time there's a world's largest slaughter, you'll find someone else's name on it. And so, in reality land, if we're gonna leave Earth and go to some place where invisible reindeer don't exist and shit, we would have to like include that. But on the surface, it really looks like Russia's like liberating the planet from these people and shit. And in all reality, I mean, look at that. We got Russia liberating the world of the empire that they literally worship in their religions, and were all killed off by and replaced by 100 years ago. Let's ignore that. And the reality is, you watch those videos and there ain't much going on. But then you see the main place that the Bolsheviks and the Americanists and the Zionists are after, that place just got completely leveled. So that's like reality. That's the reality check. Like, it takes a day to invade your enemies and kill them if you're not just creating a distraction and stuff. You don't have to spend decades pussyfooting around. Usually when you're pussyfooting around war, you're just doing that to drain resources and create resources. You got to create jobs, because if people don't have jobs, they can have thoughts and have talents and abilities. And thoughts, talents, and abilities are the enemy of imperialism. So you can't have those things to achieve George Orwell's perfect plan, which was obviously put in effect thousands of years ago. But yeah, so on the surface, like, you're supposed to be like, hey, yeah, go Russia and shit. But, I mean, you already seen on foot. America's like playing a game with that. They're acting like, oh my God, they're for them and we're not. And then the other side's like, we're for them and they're not. And there's always that 50-50. Almost whenever that 50-50 thing is involved, they're making up bullshit. Like the elections are always 51 to 49%. If you can't figure out that that's fake and they're not actually counting any votes or anything, it's just fake number. Like literally, that's a number you make up to give someone false hope. Like 5149 says, if we just keep trying, things will change. Which is literally like, this is the story of freedom and democracy and peace, love, and hope. If you just keep working when you're dead thousands of years later, for thousands of years later, you'll be underground living it up in your coffin. Yeah. Yeah. And then you go to the Russia website and you see that they have the same Bigfoot shit going on there. As if the Russian government is the American government, which the Bolsheviks are Americans. So, obviously, I mean, you really, in World War II, if you want to look at it, you have USA destabilizing the entire northern hemisphere, or sitting back and watching them get destabilized, and then they swoop in, and then they become the new capital of the empire, which suits the empire to move its base of operations every few years, especially to an isolated island like UK, or when that becomes too small, isolated island like America. North America. So you look at that shit and you see it, and you want to have hope because you know that things have to change, and you know that's the only way things ever change. And if you've looked into it enough, you know the answers. I mean, it really doesn't take a long time to look into it. You see, like, oh shit, there's people on the planet going around killing and enslaving everyone. And they never stop. If you can't figure out the answer there, you're probably one of them. You're definitely on their side if you're not one of them. But of course, they have to protest too much, so they have to write books, movies, and video games, and radio shows, and build buildings on every corner to promote the idea that none of that's actually happening. Like literally, we're building billions of buildings. We're making billions of radio shows. We're creating thousands of religions and 10 trillion books to support it. We're creating tons of internet websites, tons of internet videos, tons of newscasts, tons, blah, 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 blah. Trillions upon trillions, decadillions of protesting just to say someone is a good person. Be not deceived by your eyes and your ears and your brain, for that would be Satan taking over your eyes and ears and brain, telling you that what they're saying isn't true and making you hallucinate and see things that aren't there. You can see, I don't have to waste a second writing a book telling you I'm something I'm not, because I don't care. But a person who is an egomaniac, obsessed with themselves, needs to tell, a greedy egomaniac, they need something. They're going to have to convince you they're a great person to come around them, right? That's why when the aliens stand on the corner, they have sob stories about why they are standing on corners and shit. Because if they told you, hey, I'm an alien shapeshifter and I'm just out here manipulating people, and my real goal is to target specific people, to drain them, of their life and resources, then that won't work. So instead on it, they write, hey, my kids are starving. And then they're alien shapeshifters. I don't even think they produce kids, shit like that. But, it wouldn't work. They got to protest. They got to protest against that shit. Fucking. So, it's the same thing. Over and over and over. It's real simple. There's only so many patterns going on. There's only so many personality types, so many actions and decisions they choose to make. And obviously, we have a 7+ thousand year plan that has been followed and repeated for thousands of years. So we can't trust that. But on the outside, we don't really have any. We don't have anyone on the control. See, that's how controlled opposition actually works. They create Satan 6,000 years ago, and they don't even have to roll it out till 50 years ago, because no one can even get far enough to questioning whether these people invading and killing everyone are fucking being honest, because if they do, they get killed. So, you see, that took 5,900 years for them to invent controlled opposition to the original delusion of flying reindeer people. So that's where this world is. That you're on a planet where everyone's been killed off who can see with their eyes and think with their brain that invisible flying reindeer don't exist, except for the ones promoting it because they know it's there for manipulation and delusion, and they know its purpose has served them well, conquering, colonizing, genociding, enslaving every person on the planet. So that's worked. I mean, they don't have to create too many new ones. Even when they create New Age, it's just they recreated their Buddhism, which is recreating their original concept of that, which is the 6-armed elephant warriors. So that's not new either. That's still It's Abrahamism. It's not Abrahamism. It's so different. The giant, flying, invisible Smurf people are not the same as the small, flying, invisible reindeer. It's a simple fact. Einstein said so. He's so smart. He's so smart he can't figure out what a comb is or a blowtorch is to fix his stupid-looking fucking rat nest he's wearing around on his head. Might actually not even be hair. He might actually be putting a rat nest up there. Because, I'm giving him ideas at this point. Fucking, the lower you can go, it just proves how well you've domesticated your slaves. I mean, really, the pinnacle of that is when your slaves go around killing their own family and enslaving their own family for you. That's really the pinnacle of slavery right there, where you spread it on and then 3 generations later, instead of remembering, that person didn't get to see their parents get killed for not believing in invisible flying reindeer. That person is a product of the persons who didn't get killed 2 generations ago. That way, they would choose to worship invisible reindeer for, so they don't die like their parents. And then the next generation gets told that story. And then the next generation is just there and doing it for them. And it's like when I create a robot to go do something for me, it's doing my shit for me. It's not asking questions. It doesn't care, it's there. But on the outside, we could always view this as a positive thing, which I think at any point it is. Obviously, the collapsing of America has to occur for them to move to fantasy pedo land. But either way, it would have to happen. It doesn't have to. It can't just go on for eternity. And things have never gone on. And obviously, they're in control of shit. So they're probably all these empires. I mean, when your nation is littered with someone's gang symbols, then you're that you're either are that gang or you're you're one in a million that's not, and you're working for them. I don't go outside and see cartel symbols everywhere because they don't run this nation. But I do see Bolshevik symbols everywhere. I do see, you know, Abrahamic symbols everywhere. So, there's Satan, there's Christianity, there's Muslim, the Quran stuff, there's atheist. There's no non-Abrahamic gang signs out there. Even when you see the mafia, like you'll actually see mafia, but they're Italians. Where do Italians come from? Italians come from Rome. And who are the Romans? Well, I think you know that. So, bing bong. Again, we have to change our name. We were once Romans, but now we're Italians. We're different people. Again, we're Satanists. We're not Christians. Oh, we're different people. Oh, we're Muslims. We worship the same people, but we're different people. Oh, we're New Age. We're literally the Abrahamics, but, we were going to base this on not believing in invisible people, but then we're just going to talk about doing acid and frying our brain, and we're going to worship our own people to begin with, and we're definitely Zionists. Just as exactly as the blueprint for racial world domination says to be. But we're against it by saying we're against it. We're against it because of poopy poop poop. Because my brain said it. Because my word said it. Now give me that money. Give me that money. Give me that blood. Give me your women. Give me the women. So, yeah. So, apparently, we've just begun. Like, I see it as the world begun in 2020. Like, seriously, I'm pretty sure it began in, 1984. I'm pretty sure they dropped that word in there because that's where my memories began. And if I began creating people around then, that makes up how I've seen a million people. Anyways, yeah, so, I believe it actually started in 2020. The pre-2020 was just education. It was all just me being fed the storyline and everything that's going on and training and stuff like that, unfortunately. It's pretty much me sitting around and waiting for these days to come and not really expecting it to, not really caring. And so I see it as the world, the game actually started. The other stuff was allocating stat points and reading the manual to the game, pretty much. Which was totally useless because I didn't want to hear any of it. Don't want to hear any of it. Didn't want to be involved. Well, maybe did, but definitely don't now. And probably not. That was real short, and lots of tricks there from the circus clowns to bait me into thinking I should waste my life more. I should. Fucking chase the fucking carrot more. Oh, more than I already have, because you just keep chasing the carrot, you'll get it someday. Isn't that what they say? Isn't that what people who failed fucking every grade in school say to you? There should be something against those people talking. But we're not on a real planet, so there is no fucking rules for shit like that. There is no prevention of this shit from happening because this shit is the domination. This is the dominating mindset of the world. This is the dominating mindset of the species. Or, what's the correct term when it's NPCs? It's not bot models because they're not expensive robots. I'm pretty sure everything's just zeros and ones. They're beams of light. These are images of light. They're pixels on a display unit. Um, so I don't know what the correct terminology for different characters and whatever is fucking, but I got that part figured out because they got their psychology they forced me to learn, and then they have then I've just sat back and watched, so I studied their patterns for a long time, and the abilities of what it's capable of producing, what type of humans the game is capable of producing. What are there? That's a better study than psychology because studying them will lead you to learning that psychology is the Scooby Doo people again, and even though they say some intelligent every now and then, I don't think just because Jesus said don't kill everyone doesn't mean the other 99% of colonizers bullshit is of anything anyone should be forced to hear. That's literally one of the questions that never will get talked about by the people who are against colonizers, because they are the colonizers acting like they're against them, acting like they're against their parents, but because their parents told them to create controlled opposition and shit. Fucking. So this is what we're dealing with here. Fucking a bunch of bullshit, unwanted bullshit. It wrecks everything to see their fucking toasters too. Like, imagine being a living person who's existed for billions of years, and you have a screwdriver telling you what to do and how to do it. Something that existed like 10 seconds ago, was created 10 seconds the fuck ago, has nothing to offer the world, is an ancient, useless, outdated tool. The specific screwdriver, the Dollar Tree screwdriver, so much to offer. That shit, and then you get a pack of Dollar Tree screwdrivers, and they're organized now. They got drugs, guns, and bombs. They're terrorists, they're rapists. And their biggest skill set they're allowed to use, because if they used all those other advanced skills that the game gave them access to that in reality, and didn't just make cute TV shows about serial killers, fucking no living being would stand a chance here, because you'd be eliminated right away. But you have the thing where people drug and try to kill you for decades and they can't do it, and there's how many billions? It's like, how many billions of screwdrivers does it take to organize and kill a living being? See, if I had a billion of these things, they could figure it out. Screwdriver is very accurate here. Dollar Tree screwdriver is very accurate. Because even when you try to stab someone with a Dollar Tree screwdriver, it's probably just going to break. Literally, what has happened before here. I've had screwdrivers trying to stab me, and they broke themselves in the process of trying to do it. Fucking crazy. The Russian thing looks cute on the outside, but I notice there's no support for that. I don't ever see that. Again, it's always there's going to be no support for the controlled opposition, and it makes it look real. It's so real. There's really something opposing it, right? And Einstein, Hey, he's working with Santa Claus because he's opposing Santa Claus. Him and NASA work with Santa Claus sleigh because they oppose Santa Claus. Oh, it's not ugly mutant rat looking motherfuckers are making up a bunch of delusions and telling people they're intelligent to get all their and their gods to get all their fucking money. Not at all. It's he's really working at NASA with fucking flying reindeer and rocket sleighs. That's what they say. That's what they literally they say. You see, you don't even have to. They didn't even have to invent that shit. Fucking, I don't know if there's anybody who's actually figured it out. I was at a satanic ritual, and they were like, and they were talking just like colonizers, and it's like, okay, well, like shit, you guys aren't even like opposing. The only reason there was ever a reason to oppose these people and shit was the fact that they're fucking going around killing everyone who isn't them. There's no reason to oppose religion if you don't oppose colonizers invading your fucking place and forcing you to worship them as gods and shit. Fucking, but and their actions and attitudes and mentality, like that's the, the bullshit they say is funny. Flying invisible reindeer, it's for the children. It's funny, isn't it? What could go wrong with that? Nothing could go wrong with that. Flying invisible reindeer for the children who just had their genitals mutilated. So that way they can have the branding of the gang seared in like the tattoo, MS-13 tattoo on their forehead, but it's on their wiener. That way they can see it and know they're a bitch every time they look down. You don't know you're a bitch if you get MS, if you get a gang sign tattooed on your head. You only know you're a bitch if it's fucking carved into your genitals. Fucking. They got that. You see how they can master certain things, and they can't master how to do it correctly. Like that, they mastered how to do that correctly. I can't think of much other way unless you alter the DNA so they're born without legs and arms. I can't think of a better way, but then they can't do the slavery thing. But yeah, so great, amazing shit. Always happening, guys. Don't forget to smoke your Bibles. A pound of weed rolled up in your Bible. As the TV recommends, we all do. And that way, great magical things can fucking happen to you. And shit, bro. Yeah, I mean, considering most of the media in America is American, fucking, and considering they were more involved in the COVID shit than other nations, even. Don't know what to. Really, I mean, I'm never going to fucking let anyone around me again. Everyone who comes into my life is going to be because I'm forced to deal with them, and it always has been. Just at this point, I have to say this to prove that this continually happens. Even when I say, stop, you need help. Yeah, you need help, and I don't have the help you need. I already offered that help. People refused that help. So, which was just, that was the beginning of the game. People were showing what we really are working for the system you're against. So, the system doesn't exist without us kidnapping you and taking you to those people. And the system doesn't exist without us drugging you for them because you'd snap their fucking necks if some little weak fucking 90-pound Abrahamic fucking put their hands on you. Without a gang of competent and more competent, more able people whose skill sets aren't strictly diarrhea of the mouth for centuries and delusions of invisible fucking rodents, invisible flying rodents. So, yeah. Looks cute on the outside, looks beneficial, but, I mean, compare the pictures of Palestine, that Russia, and that the Bolsheviks and the Americanists both are members of the same team who want to take over, to pictures of Ukraine. And I think we see the answer there to one is war and one is suppression or distraction. So, modern war is Hiroshima and Palestine, while ancient hokey dokey wars are all over the place, all over the time, you know? Um, so it should be beneficial, but I mean, you tell me when you found something beneficial on this planet, and make sure you come with your paperwork and video evidence of other people's support who have evidence of themselves being valid fucking sources of information, you know, proving that they're not people who went around with the hokey dokey, promoting and supporting the hokey dokey, uh, and then we can figure out. But it, looks like we're a little far from figuring that out when you just turn on the YouTube or the news, and it's their talking point every time because it's the white people with the dark hair every time, who you're allowed to see in these medias. Um, so, yeah, another useless conversation that goes nowhere. I already wasted 10 years of my life on that, only for it to expand further and continue doing what it's always done. I mean, my last friend that got to come into my life was one of them. As usual, all my friends are like all pro-war, and that's weird. It's so weird. You get like, I have to go to a different country to find people like me and shit. I guess it's just it's my ignorance for listening to known liars and wanting to. You really, I mean, they'll kill you if you don't fucking hang out with them and shit. So you've got to like go along and accept what they say, and some of that shit gets into you fucking, after so many years of them forcing you to be around them and listen to them. That shit, some of that shit gets to you and shit. You're kind of like, yeah, well, they're over here raping and killing people, but at least now they're talking about invisible reindeers. It sounds really good. It's an improvement. Let's go along with that. It's really like, it seems to be how it is. Like, that's like the option some people offer. That's their personality. Rape and kill, delude and deceive. And which would you rather have happen to you? Delude and deceive, rape and kill, or a mixture? Because you're probably going to get the mixture, because people can't always be on their best behavior of delude and deceive. And plus, you have to have the rapist mentality too. You have to be a rapist to do the delude and deceive, because you have to be forcing yourself upon others in order to delude and deceive them, because no one's going to want to hear it. It's a complete package and shit. Simple, basic personality types and shit that come with these NPC fucking It doesn't stray the course. I've been trying to create new fucking beings with different attitudes. Uh, I well, I haven't been trying recently, but I tried from like the end of 2021 to 2023. I was creating new humans to see, like what type of personalities. Am I correct that there are certain types of personalities that it cannot create that are not in the software that's using to generate the humans? And I'm pretty sure I'm correct on that because I specifically asked for outside of for the for some of the things that have been outside of the parameters, which again it goes back into if you have a billion Dollar Tree screwdrivers trying to kill you, it's not going to be as effective as a billion vape pens trying to kill you because they've got circuits and they perform complex actions. So I'm kind of assuming that there's a reason why some of these personalities I couldn't get created in a human, even though they make fucking delusional Bigfoot stories on TVs about serial killers and stuff like that. I think that's created for entertainment purposes. Like 9/11 was created for entertainment purposes, and like literally when the pre 9/11 events, they sent that person to kill me, which they funded me to protect myself from when that happened in advance. They the money they stole from me that they funded me with first, the money it bought pictures, and so in the pictures they generated, it would have like funny pictures of the person and shit. And my friends were all, it made my friends point, like I didn't give a shit. I was fucking pissed. I don't give a shit who fucking takes my money and time and what they give me in return for fucking taking my life from me. But my friends were all excited and they're like, check it out. These pictures are so funny and shit, right? So, like, the game generated these funny fucking images of the person they sent to try to kill me that they knew was going to die in the process, that they knew I was going to need the money to pay for the scumbag trying to kill me. So you see how it took that entire thing and it made a funny out of it. It made a joke out of it to try to lighten the thing and shit. It does that. It takes death and it makes it into a joke, which it is. Death is probably the only thing of value here. Fucking, we're on a planet though where everything's topsy turvy and everything good is bad and everything bad is good. Peace, love, hope, and freedom is actually genocide, slavery, and racial supremacy. But that this is like how one of the 7 things on the planet. There's only a couple things going on the planet, and this is one of the 7 things. Is that what they're saying? Just believe the opposite, and you'll probably pass school. You'll probably get advanced grades in school, and get out of out of college by the time you're 15. If you just believe the opposite of everything they tell you. Worked for me. It worked for me, I'll tell you that much. I'm still trying to figure out how I did all that school stuff. Like, nothing makes sense. I was raised around people I didn't go around, or raised around people who didn't score the same. Maybe my dad did, but he was never even around. You see what I'm saying? Like, my dad was all doing all this stuff, but he was never around. So it's not like, I don't think he taught me math when I was like 2 years old and shit. He might have, but he was definitely gone by the time I was in school. And so, yeah, hey, it worked for me to do that. And it still works for me. I'm still able to understand everything that's going on. A little help from the peanut gallery when they write on the map that they're going to send their people to try to kill me a month before they do. Yeah, but I already knew that. I was already dropping little quips and videos for a year. Like, hey, these motherfuckers keep appearing. The game is about to do something with them. Because when I look out the window, it's making the motherfuckers appear every time I look out the window and shit. So, like it delivers me furniture. It leaves some furniture leaving outside, and I go outside to pick it up, and a truck drives by that says on a little back road that trucks don't really go on. A truck drives by that says furniture deliveries. I'm picking up the furniture and take it back to my house. Shit, literally, the writing's not just on the wall, it's on the side of the truck, it's on people's faces. It's the writing is the writing is the actual furniture too, because the furniture is just zeros and ones. So the writing's on the furniture too, because it just doesn't look like zeros and ones because I'm not looking close enough. So on the outside, that looks beneficial and shit, but I mean, the only thing we'll ever know is beneficial is when we know the job's done. There's not enough drugs in the world to fuck up my mind to delude me the way they wish they could, which is thankful. I'm pretty sure that's part of the system there. You got people drugging me half my life because when they drug themselves and when they drug their friends, they go fucking wacko bananas. They get lost forever sometimes. And that doesn't happen to me, thankfully. Well, thankfully, I don't know. I think that would help. Like, I think the purpose of me trying some of these poisons and drugs and was to not to actually test that as I claim, but to actually make it happen and shit. Fucking. Unfortunately, huffing paint doesn't make fucking living beings actually become fried. It only works on bots who are not actually that way from huffing paint. They're created that way, and it just says their backstory is they huff paint, and that's why they're created that way. Right. That's that. This is all the reality of what's going on here in the ship. And so there is no reality to this place. Why I don't have a dinosaur outside in my car parking spot. Why I don't have a car parking spot to put a car in, is because the game has parameters and we have evil bot. Like the game, there's no video game where you go around and there's some fat bitch you talk to and you kiss her and you hug her and you're like, oh, fat bitch, I love you all day long for 800,000 hours. There's no video game anyone does that in. They're never gonna. They're trying to make games like that, and it just shows how pathetic Earth has become. Fucking, like, they do make those games now. I should change that. Yeah, they do make those games now. Interesting, but it's about the same. Fucking, yeah. So the writing is everywhere because everything is just zeros and ones to begin with. So. But literally, it appears on the trucks driving by, and yeah, I knew that before they put that on the thing. I knew that because I was already investigating them 8 years ago and shit, and calling to shut them down and put them all in fucking and take their fucking family's assets and fucking shut their system down. Fucking, I was posting documentaries on that 8 fucking years ago about these people and shit. And that's what caused fucking COVID, is those people kidnapped and drugged me. And I said, you know what? It is time for you to start doing this to yourselves. And computers can get viruses. So you hit the computer, the human bots with a virus, and you can alter their thinking. So they call it the mind virus. And of course they hide it and they call it corona because the people the main targets here are the ones with the propaganda, with the control levers and shit. And So they're spending decades trying to hide me and what I do, and they're willing to take credit for it even and shit. They switched the whole 9/11 thing to they did it to just to create a whole nother um, a whole nother rabbit trail to lead people away from the obviousness these days to me that I'm pretty sure I said that should happen right before it did. I wasn't aware of that back then, or I would have been talking to people about it earlier. But like, again, who is the propaganda tailored to deceive? If they have a bunch of robots on the planet, you don't even have to create propaganda for robots. You, they're already. I don't have to create propaganda to tell them my vape pen like produce vape or else you go to hell and die. Because my vape pen's already going to do that. So they're not creating propaganda for their bots and shit. They're creating it to cover up shit. Fucking. Still, just like this whole other thing going on with Russia and all that shit. Are they creating propaganda to deceive themselves and their fucking fellow toasters? Or who are they creating their mindless bullshit for? Well, seems obvious. I mean, the reason they've created language is to start deceiving God. The whole reason they created books is to start deceiving God. And to tell God he's a bitch and he just rolls over for him and does everything they fucking say. And wrap it up in a cute little package of colonizer, rapist, pedophile bullshit. And so you don't have to create fucking propaganda for my fucking vape pen to tell it, oh, I'm your creator, vape pen. I'm your creator, vape pen. You better do as I say. Because it already does everything it's going to be able to do and nothing more. It's not going to be able to be like, yeah, I'm tired of this guy putting his lips on me and molesting me all the time. He's always sucking on me and stuff. And then he plugs it when he thinks I'm not performing well. He puts me under some electroshock therapy. So they don't have to create electroshock therapy and drugging people for fucking robots they've got under their control. Who are they creating that shit for? Well, I know who they've used it on. I know at least one person they've used it on. And I know who their people fucking support. I know how many of their people support using it on that person. So, how many of their fellow robots support using it? Well, the robot fucking itself is not going to vary in its patterns, is it? How's a robot going to do something else? Computers can't do anything other than what they're programmed to. There's no such thing. It doesn't work. This is them creating the idea. Again, they've been creating this idea that their AI, their advanced AI, for thousands of years. The AI delusion isn't new. In the last decade, it was quantum computing, and in the decades before that, it was I'm evolving. I'm a living being. I'm evolving. And it's like, no, you're actually not. But that's where it begins, right? You create a toaster, you teach talk, and someone starts telling it to tell you it's alive, and it's evolving. And now it's going around saying it's alive and it's evolving, and that's like the reality of Earth, of what's happening here and shit. And it seems to be the only purpose here is to basically it's like you're inserted in a world full of Terminators and you're a magician. That seems to be what it is here, right? Like, and tell me that's not what their story says as well. There's people who were created. Now, the word people was invented before the word robot was. All these words, racial supremacy, was invented thousands of years after the word religion was. So, all these, the word games, it's just one of the only things they're capable of doing is, and I don't think they're capable of that. I think someone else is designing that, someone else has designed the storyboard. And there's probably millions of people playing their own Earth right now. It's probably not like some unique fucking hokey dokey thing. It probably just changes the image of whatever avatar you've chosen to whatever avatar you've chosen and shit, and all those, and all those pictures in the halls of Russian government, and all those pictures on every corner in America. Someone chooses a character as a green, giant, 9 foot tall green person with spikes coming out their shoulders. That is the person whose image would be in those other versions of the visual novel. Incorrect to call it a game. Visual novels are different than games. You don't sit down and watch games unfold. You play them. So yeah, great stuff happening here, isn't it? It's always so great. It's so great. 40 years fucking later, they're claiming something is happening. 40 fucking years after the second you're forced to be here, they're claiming that's finally happening. You open the book and you read the fucking first chapter, you read the first fucking sentence, and you're like, well, well, at the end of this story, this begins to happen and shit. And then, so, like, you're just sitting there for, like, 40 fucking years and, like, what the fuck is the point of this shit? And then that's a fucking wet dream for people who like those boring ass fucking movies and shit. Anyway, so hopefully, yeah, the Bolsheviks are gonna liberate the world from their twins, the Americanists. Yeah, that's what we're supposed to believe, right? Right. The Catholics are gonna eliminate the world of the Christians. They told me. That's what they told me. And then they all said a flying reindeer's coming next month. Bruh, flying reindeer, invisible flying reindeer, bruh. Fucking, I can't even begin to sound. Bro, I'm trying my best. The sound is dumb. And it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Like I said, I can't even huff spray paint and sound as dumb as they are and shit. This is the product of a person who's taken more drugs than anyone, including poisons that were designed to fucking do much worse than that. That's the product of what happens when a living being touches. But guess who won't be making trillions of dollars off drugs? If colonizers don't own the world's drug trade and put their cross-gang symbols on it. That's right, Elon Musk won't be rich anymore. Jeffrey Epstein won't be rich anymore. Father televangelist won't be rich anymore. Netanyahu won't be rich anymore. And Putin won't be rich anymore. And Einstein's family won't be rich anymore. And NASA won't be rich anymore. And who else won't be rich anymore? Oh, probably most people I've met. Um, I definitely know a couple who have specifically stated those things. Most of the drug dealers on the streets wouldn't be rich anymore. The cartels wouldn't be rich anymore. If they're even rich. I mean, that sounds like some fantasy invented by white people that, I mean, they're not really white, but since they've taken to them and mixed with them so much, they kind of are now. Um, that sounds like a white person fantasy. Black people over there in Mexico, they're evil voodoo soldiers. They're in the army of voodoo. Stop me if you've heard one of them tell you this story before. I know I've heard it a lot. I've heard that a lot since I was a kid. Couple people, couple females didn't say that. But I'm not too sure many other people did. Not sure if anyone else did, actually. I'm pretty sure it was just females. But the females come from that really far end of mind control. Like, they're the leaders of the Santa Claus shit, where the men don't promote that as much. And they sit at home and collect the money while the men go work for them. So they're in the higher priest class, technically. And then again, the eternal victim thing comes through with that as well. Fucking. Oh boy, it's real hard to put all these links together, isn't it? It's like the same thing linking back to itself over and over and over. It's like 5, 6, 7 things just continually. It's all they can do. It's all they operate on, isn't it? Fucking. Have you ever met one of them who fucking gave you the idea that they were honest? Like, seriously, I mean, when you meet someone on the street, that's not a person you met. That's a person you've walked by and said hi to. When you live with someone for a couple days, then you know who they are. And I've always got this feeling from people, whether they start our relationship talking about flying invisible reindeers, or they start telling me who they are. Almost always. Almost. There's like 1 or 2 times I remember where I could be forgetting something, but even then, weird events made that one time. That one time I remember happened, where there wasn't a bunch of weird stuff to start within the first month or something. Within the first day, I think it is. It's usually within the first sentence or paragraph that people speak that I'll be like, yeah, they're lying about this, fucking, aren't they? Let's test them. So eventually I got to testing people. You're like, oh, you like fucking, you want to hear me play drums? Oh, let's go fucking do it then. Instead of saying you like it, fucking let's go do it and see if you like it. That ended their ability to lie as fast as I could start it. Again, there's a couple people who I really only knew for a day or 2 or something, or a million people. I couldn't put on that. But the rest, you don't know those people, you know what I'm saying? You don't know someone till you've lived with them for a day or 2 and get to watch. I mean, you really can figure some people out in a day in like a couple sentences, but for the ones that you haven't figured out in a couple sentences, it takes just a little bit further reach. It takes a little bit closeness to see where that's headed and shit. Yeah, it's supposed to look all hopeful and shit on the outside. You're supposed to have hope, and You just sit around and you wait and you have hope. Well, what what you're supposed to have hope for is that when you die, things get better. That's what, that's who has the registered trademark and copyright on the word hope is people who tell you when you die, things will get better. Colonizers who tell you when you die, things will get better. Great fucking colonizer plan Kaiser came up with there in Italy. Fucking to tell people to have hope that things get better when they die. That's like, that's literally what someone will tell you when they break in your house to shoot you and kill you and rape you. But things are going to get better when you're dead. Don't worry about it. And who is the mafia? Well, it's Kaiser, ain't it? Fucking. So, and who Kaiser's images are even on the other people's gangs, so they probably didn't invent those gangs, did they? Fucking the second world's most famous gang uses Kaiser's symbols. And they claim someone else invented it, though, but you really gotta watch out for accepting someone who only slightly looks like someone they're claiming to be. It's as clear as the words on their face that they aren't the same as whatever they're saying they are. Barack Obama is a good example of few people who are make it harder to see, but his name is literally having that image carved into his face, even though his face doesn't portray the image. His name is the name. So, like, that's their karmic release. So if you got steamrolled by Barack, that's your fault because you didn't look up what the name Barack means. And if you got steamrolled by Barack, even after doing that, that's your fault because you got steamrolled by the Baracks before Barack. Yeah, that's what they say, right? And that's what they say. Why they tell you everything and paint their gang sign on every corner and every building in the nation, and label the judicial system after themselves and paint their official vehicles with their cult signs. That's your fault. That's your fault if you don't watch Russia and see he's got the same imagery in his government as the American government has. That's your fault, It's your fault for believing any of that if you don't see that, because you're supposed to speak in gang signs. You're supposed to speak in occult symbols and do Masonic handshakes, and you're not supposed to, speak human. You're supposed to speak in deceptions and manipulation. You're supposed to speak about flying reindeer and invisible reindeer and not walking reindeer who exist. It means something. We're not even talking about reindeer if you fucking get the message. We're not talking about it. We're not even claiming flying invisible reindeer exist, but we've brought a message. The flying reindeer has brought a message. And that message is, you've been colonized. Oh no, wait a minute. They told me the other day it's not colonization. So, peace, love, and hope. That was literally a sermon the other day. Like, you don't have to tell me you're not a colonizer if you're not a colonizer. I've never went outside and been like, hey, look, it's the colonizers. What are you guys doing today? Fucking right. Like, I don't. I don't I don't watch this black cat walking around every now and then, and I'm like, is it a colonizer? Oh my god! You better start telling me how you're not a colonizer and shit. Fucking, you look a lot like a colonizer to me. Why is it I don't think that black cat's outside colonizing the place? They're about to take over, aren't they? You know how many black cats I've seen? And then they got the gray ones too, and the orange ones. Oh my god, they're everywhere, aren't they? What if they're colonizing? Oh my god, why don't I think they're colonizing the place? The first step is they haven't written a book telling me they're not colonizing people, so they haven't put the thought into my head that they're doing it, that someone thought they're doing it. That's the first step. The second step is I don't see their faces in control of any of the corporations. I don't see any. There is some sort of cat-like religion in China. Who knows? I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Although that's very Buddhist like. It's very Abrahamist to uh, invent cats as gods, especially because that probably came forth from the 8-armed elephant god. So and now we got the flying reindeer gods. Um, but yeah, so there's another pattern there too. We always have to take the delusion and deception just as far as the slime can take it. They'll step over the border and everything. And then it gets to this point where it's just so out of hand. People are talking about flying invisible reindeer as if they're real, and spending billions, and trillions of dollars a year on flying invisible reindeer, and then 8-armed elephant warriors, giant blue elephants who stand on 2 legs. Um, you see how when something gets started 6,000 years ago, like that, it can spiral out of control into complete madness, and then somehow, I mean, I don't think this world is real. I don't think this is how the real world works. I don't think after 6,000 years of 6-armed elephant warriors, we would have anyone who thinks that crazy drunk person was saying anything of value at all. But we are in some place where that thing where that thing does happen. You got these old drunk men uh, who they're called philosophers, who they're just like erp and derp and what goes up and go down. Flying invisible reindeer. Yep. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blue, green, black, red, yellow, wet. Salads. Go salads. And that's what Epicurus, the great drunken old bum Epicurus, is so insightful philosophy. Original New Ageism. The originator of New Ageism. They didn't have mushrooms back then, so he just had to be a drunk. Yeah, so there we go. All those great beliefs. It just seems unreal that if Earth were populated with living beings, that would exist. You would snuff shit out like that. Like literally, the humans claim that they've invented these places to drug and electrocute and lock up people for people who see 6-armed elephant warrior gods and flying invisible reindeer and shit. But it turns out to be that they have the flying invisible reindeer symbols on their mental hospitals. They are the people, the old drunk uh, people who've been fried by acid, too many acid trips, are literally the people creating places and claiming they're creating torture chambers for people who see flying, who see what they tell you to see and shit. So that's like that's where Earth is. You know, you have flying invisible reindeer, people having children, beating into their children, and if their children don't believe it, they send them to buildings that they have to lie and claim are for people who see flying invisible reindeer, but in fact they use them to drug and kill people who refuse to accept every word they say. And that's the reality of what goes on with these things out here and what their system of colonization is. You know, it starts 6,000 years ago. You just walk around the planet and you tell everyone, hey, I'm God because I just killed you and you worship me. I'm your Lord now. And then that evolves to you getting your ass kicked eventually. And then so they go back and they're like, how can I convince people I'm God now? They want to kill me because I killed them and I invaded them and I took their nations and their houses and land and you know, and they stopped me and I just won everything. And another one's like, hey, you can invent if you start wearing a mask of a bird. Tell them you're a half bird. Another one's like, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I put on the bird mask. I'm now, I'm a half bird guy, guys. Hey, guys, chirp, chirp, chirp. I'm a bird. I'm a bird. Chirp, chirp, chirp. And everyone's like, oh my God, it's a bird. It's God. Only God can transform into a bird. It's God. It must be God. He says he's God too. He says, give us all his money, all of our money, and work for him and build pyramids. Do it. Do it. Do it. And then you get your ass kicked eventually because people are like, yeah, this person isn't so great. They're pretty, I think they're just scamming us. Someone probably found the bird mask laying around, or someone in the inner circle laughed about it and made fun of them and spoke of it. And then so they get their ass kicked and they have to leave Egypt. So they go up to this place not yet invented called Israel. And I think they skip that for a minute and they go straight to this Rome place. And from there they create these other they have these other gods. Clearly, the Greeks would have to be involved somewhere there too. Again, the obsession with colonizers, knowing they need islands to protect themselves from what's coming to them. It's the only way you can successfully colonize because anytime you go away from your border to colonize, if you go north to colonize to the north, the people to the south now can come reclaim their stolen shit from you. Fucking so every time they choose a fucking island, so we don't know because the writing gets skewed, but we can be assured that Greece plays a role in this because it's so important for them to yap their traps about it and shit, and it's got the Scooby-Doo shit. It's got their 20 different fucking gods and shit, fucking, and that's where the drunk hobos being fucking super geniuses coming from. So we have, they're delusional fucking psychopaths who want to convince you that they're fucking something great and special when they got nothing to fucking say really but some stupid haiku limerick bullshit. And so, like, right there, we've got solid enough evidence to, well, that's where those genetics must be coming from, or have at least made a pit stop at. Fucking, Because that's not standard living being thinking, so that has to be unity, a code, a codified genetic disposition to think that's a viable method for existence or anything. Um, Obviously, they support them as, they promote that shit. Like, what do they promote in their media? You figured out who they are throughout the history because they don't promote anyone else in their media. So if they're promoting anything, that's where they've been. That's people they've killed off and replaced at the very least. So, and then you got those hokey dokies. And then from there, you got the colonization spreads from Middle Earth. You got the hokey dokey, six-armed blue elephant warriors. And then you got the hokey dokey worshiping cows as gods. And the hokey dokey colonization spreads. And then it comes with hokey dokey flying invisible reindeer. And shit, it's been a minute since they had to come up with some new hokey dokey. If that science stuff, if that space stuff is hokey dokey, then chalk it up as that's the new hokey dokey. Because it's really all their words rewritten in a different way. And it's ran by the people, it's ran by the Zionists. So, it's the same thing. It's literally like watching that cat outside. I know how do I know? I know how the cat's going to walk. I know how it's going to run. I know what it's going to do. It's going to take a break here or there and just stand around looking paranoid for a minute. And that's about it. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to start doing backflips and shit. It's not going to fucking do a 100-meter hurdle dash over the dumpster. It's not going to get in the car and drive it off. It's not going to jump to the top of the building. It's not going to, get in an airplane and fly off. It's not going to, be out there on a skateboard going around. It's just going to do those 5 things it always does. It's not going to do anything else. So if I seen smoke doing the same things, I would think the smoke was actually a cat with fucking invisibility powers or some shit, right? Why is that? Because it's what it does. And you notice that old drunk fucking crumbs being important. Like, that's like part of the government. There's like laws to young, intelligent people being part of the government because if you're not old and stupid and got dementia, then what the fuck do you really have to offer the government and shit? You could offer the world something, but the government ain't for the world. The government is for the government. The government's there to protect the government. The government's there to steal more lands and money and resources so Elon Musk can be the world's richest man. And Joe Biden can be the richest person on the planet, the other rich people and shit. Fucking. Good luck because this is all just long, drawn out, boring visual novel. So, like, your ability, whatever you do isn't going to affect any fucking thing at all. I opted out of participating and I've still been through all the shit I've been through. And that's all there is. Like, trying to opt in each time is the same result of the non-humans with the ability to do 5 things or less, repeating their patterns, their inability to update their operating system. So Now things can't go any different than they will. Now there's propaganda from people telling you to be their slave and to work hard and you'll go places. But you're not going any place if you're not related to them or on their side and you've been specifically selected out of billions of people to be the poster child for you can achieve if you just do everything they're doing. That's a okie dokie colonizer shit. That's the purpose of colonizing is, and not extermination, is to make those people work for you. It's not to make them work for themselves. It's to make them work for you. Colonizers aren't bringing you a hospital and a kiss on the cheek because they're trying to teach you about love and Jesus and peace and freedom. No, colonizers could stay the fuck at home and they could attempt to teach themselves and their children that, but they don't. The point of colonizing is the point of going to your neighbor's house and taking their house, taking their shit and kill them is to go to their house and take their shit, take their house and kill them. You can call it happy love session all you want. You can call it colonizer all you want. But the fact of the matter is we changed the word rape, love, and kill to a happy love session. Rape, steal, and kill to happy love session. All of a sudden, it becomes happy love session on this planet. And of course, colonizers don't like this sort of talk. They don't, because they got colonization begins in the mind, so they have to fry your fucking mind. And any sort of rational thinking is anti-colonization, for it means your mind has not been properly colonized. Your mind is not colonized. Who is to disagree that your mind is not colonized if you can think? Now, if you can't think, your mind, I highly suspect, is colonized. Other than that, as they say, huffing paint will do it, or birth defects might do it. Your parents huffing paint while you're in the womb might do it. But the colonization begins in the mind. That's how colonizers work these days. Over thousands of years, they've taught the colonized to colonize themselves. So they've colonized the mind of those they've colonized into accepting and becoming, thinking. Do they actually think they're going to become a colonizer, or do they just know they benefit from supporting colonization? It doesn't really matter. It's not like we're going to get any answer. It's not like having this discussion is really going to net you. What's going to happen is if they've been colonized, they're going to use that to try to colonize you while you're trying to figure out, you've dealt with this before, haven't you, when colonizers try to talk to you? There's never any answers to your questions. It's just trying to manipulate it further into how they can use their colonization tactics on you during the conversation that you're trying to ask them questions. Have you experienced this? They sent one of the teleporting shapeshifters outside after they tried to colonize me and kill me last time. And he's talking to me about this and that, and he's trying to get me to worship his race. Like, he's skipping the whole colonizer thing because their people know who I am. And no, I'm not. No, that doesn't work with me. So he goes straight to tell me the Bible's about worshiping his race and shit. And it's like, bro, that's like the most racist shit ever. Why don't you go fucking tell all these other people walking by that the Bible's about worshiping your race, dude? Why are you talking to me? Like, why are we talking to one person at a time? You're not out here for these other people, are you? Just like you own this government building and you're acting like you're just a poor crippled person with no life. When in fact you're probably an alien fucking shapeshifter, doesn't exist at all. But no, let's talk about worshiping your race. Because they know I'm past that point of colonizable. You can't use hokey dokey. Well, the invisible reindeer said so, didn't it? Invisible reindeer. They're flying too. They're so cute. You don't like cute things? You're the devil. You're the devil. You're the devil. You don't like cute horsies that fly. They're like unicorns. They're so cute. You're a woman hater, aren't you? Oh, you better repent. You better repent. Cute things were created for by God, and you can tell you're possessed. You're not evil, son. You're possessed by Satan. Satan told you invisible flying reindeer don't exist. But don't forget, you can't say anything bad about our people. You know that's the reason why we just had to try to kill you, and we're trying to railroad you right here in our judicial system building. Because you can't say bad about anything about our people, about our great people. Because we don't do anything bad. How can you say anything bad? Are you making up stuff? How can you say anything bad about our people? You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to. Oh my God, you're not supposed to. We're so great. God chose us to rape children. God chose us to colonize everyone. Yeah. God chose us. God chose Lady Gaga to make fucking 2-cent trash music because God doesn't like talent. God's anti-talent. God likes simple things. He doesn't like talented people. He doesn't like complex music things. He doesn't like people who don't have to put on 10 pounds of makeup to look good. Beauty is evil. It's Satan. It's Satan. It really is. Oh my God. Oh my God. You got any money? You got any money? You're supposed to give us all your money. Other than that, my twin brother Satan's gonna kill you and torture you. And you don't want that. He's real evil. He wants your soul. What you gotta do to be saved is you gotta say, you're gonna give your soul to me. Yeah. You're not supposed to give your soul away because it's always Satan. But when I say give me your soul, I'm a good guy because I'm a colonizer, and colonizers are good people. We're full of love, hope, and peace. You know, we're victims. We're always victims to the reason why we end up in all these nations that we've taken over and collapse and run and benefit from and is because we got kicked out of the other ones because they were mean people. They were mean people. Yeah, I kicked myself out of Germany because I'm a mean person and I was a good person, and then I kicked myself out of Germany. Holocaust! A Holocaust! Are you trying to erase the Holocaust? Oh my God! You're saying I didn't Holocaust myself? I'm dead! I died because of people like you. Money, money. fuck, dude. See, all these fucking hour-long discussions, and it takes like half a second to see through these fucking scrub fucking crumbs. They're fucking nations. They're fucking pals. They're fucking allies. They're fucking called. Fucking takes 2 seconds to think through it, and they gotta fucking spend thousands of years repeating the exact opposite of what they're actually doing in order to maintain it. And if it doesn't, if it's not 24 fucking 7, if the AM radio waves, if the TV, if the internet, if the books, if every fucking corner didn't have their people fucking on it, running their fucking traps about how great they are and how they're not colonizers and how they aren't pedophiles and how they aren't homosexuals, you wouldn't know any of that. You would know the exact opposite to be the fact and the truth. But no, because it's allowed, it's out there. It's literally playing on the fucking radio 24 fucking 7. 24 fucking 7. I'm trying to drown it out by listening to some heavy metal, and the goddamn heavy metal band is talking about the same fucking shit. 24 fucking 7. That's all it is. Tell you, fucking 3 months of invisible flying fucking reindeer in order to convince people they aren't homosexual pedophiles. And they're good. And you should bring your kids around them, because there's going to be a lot of fun times here for the kids. Fuck. 6,000 plus fucking years of this shit. 24 fucking 7. Now that we've got technology, it's 24 fucking 7. I wonder what the alien shapeshifters did before, you know, if the world existed and before technology was allowed for the slave races. Before a nation accidentally discovered the technology they're using. I wonder if they actually would magically teleport to little villages or caves people lived in and be like, yeah, you gotta worship us or die. They probably did that, and they probably went to those people and they were like, yeah, these other people over here are fucking getting ready to kill you. You better go kill them first. And then they probably went to other people and went check this out. These other people over here preparing to kill you right now. You better kill them first. Then go to a third party and be like, hey, you know, these other two groups are gearing up to kill someone. I think they're gearing up to kill you. You better kill them. Isn't that exactly what they're doing right now? Anyways, so it was beautiful. Beautiful, isn't it? The world's beautiful because reindeers, again, you're saying if you don't think reindeers are cute. That's the end of this discussion, okay? So I'm tired of your shit. If you don't agree with me that invisible flying reindeers are cute, that's because you're fucking Satan. And you're an evil person, okay? You don't want other people to have their fun. You know, we gotta make up a specific fucking name for these people who aren't mentally retarded and think fucking invisible reindeers exist. Let's call it the Grinch. That sounds like a Krampus. Don't be like a mental retard. Believe in invisible reindeers. So yeah, that's the story of the Grinch too. Is again, you're evil because you don't like cute invisible flying reindeers and colonizers that come flying in on their backs to rape and kill. Sorry, I don't like colonizers. And if they're riding on horses, the natural thing throughout the years when cavalry comes in, people chop the legs off the horses because the cavalry person is like moving real fast, so they've got an advantage there. Generally, when you bring horses to war, this is how it works and shit. But if I tell you the horses are there for peace, love, and democracy, and we aren't there to kill you, then you'll take a second to be like, wait, they're not actually here to kill us? And then they kill you, and you're dead because you took that second to stall. They know that. They've perfected this over thousands of years. You can see this. This is the white man mentality. Fucking, and it's not really, but they've replaced those people. So it is. Let them be who they want, who they can be. Like if you can replace people, they are the Americans now, right? Everyone agrees. People in America. I'm an American. Well, technically, might actually be, but all these people are Americans. That's because they killed the Americans a couple hundred years ago. It only takes 200 years, and now they are those people, and those other people are never to be seen again. That's how easy it is. It really only took about, I think personally the rule I've been trying to find, because no one will debate, and help me do the research. I personally think the rule is when you see the land or the people and you think about wanting that land and killing those people, then you are now those people. Especially if you've got the ability to do that, and it's like a fact, like if I come into your nation and I drop like 6 nukes and everyone in your nation is dead, then I was correct in assuming that I am now your people and your land is now my new home. If I had assumed that 2 years before that, I was like, hey, I got 5 nukes. They've got 100 square miles. That's my land. And I am now part of I am now a Nukelandier. I am no longer an American. I'm a Nukelandier. This is my home now. This is so great and fancy. It's so quiet and peaceful here, isn't it? Nukelandia. We are the greatest people on the planet. It's so quiet and peaceful here. There's no nation like this. There's peace and love and freedom everywhere. It's so peaceful here. There's no bad people here. No one's causing any problems. We're just sitting back and relaxing. The best nation on the planet, best people on the planet, and the Nukelandia. I think that's the rule. Is once you see the land, you get a telescope out. It's like how we see Mars. Like a great example. We see Mars, so we know Mars is ours. That's ours. We're going there. The moon, we seen that even further, even longer ago, when we're like, that's our moon. That's our moon, bro. But now we're colonizing Mars. I mean, literally, you see it through a telescope. I think this is the rule. But colonizer rules are, the first rule of colonizer is we don't talk about colonizer. Is that not the first rule? Because it's not colonizer. It's peace, love, and hope, and democracy, and sharing, and caring, and health, and happiness, and good times. Then the good times roll. But we see, everyone agrees Mars is ours. Everyone, that's something the whole planet can come together under one colonizer banner on, is Mars is ours. It'd be the greatest thing in the world if that stuff actually existed and there was actually already species who lived there, and they're like super fucking advanced and shit. And that's why you can't see them, because they know to cloak themselves so Earthlings can't see them and come try to invade them. That would be so awesome, though. But generally, that's not how colonization works. Generally, colonization works by looking at something weak and defenseless and realizing 5 nukes is all that's going to take, and that's going to be I'm going to be the new people of that land. So, yeah, it doesn't even look like they're trying to colonize Ukraine. it's a great distraction from them leveling other people who don't look like them and worship the direct descended book. But, well, isn't that a great conversation we'll never have with actual living beings and shit? Fucking all the stuff that should be said that never gets said. All this wasting time talking about useless shit instead of just saying what's going on. I was talking about flying invisible reindeer instead of just being like, there's no such thing. So much easier to be like, yeah, Bigfoot isn't real than waste time talking about Bigfoot, isn't it? So much easier. But some people want to talk about Bigfoot. So I've never met those people, specifically Bigfoot people in real life, but that's the people who talk about the other stuff in the media who talk about Bigfoot all the time. And so we can analyze who creates, owns, and runs this media by watching what they post. It's real simple. You can analyze most people in a minute or two. You can read their writings. You definitely can watch what they post and realize what's going on in their fucking heads and shit. And because those people are using their heads to spew bullshit, so they can't hide behind that. Oh, I'm just an idiot. Well, no, you own a mega corporation. You're the world's biggest terrorist, but how you got there by being an idiot. So these are the facts, and of course, what do the facts matter? I've never even heard this conversation take place. Kind of. I had one or two people say one little sentence, but one of those people was like, I know you don't believe in flying invisible reindeer, and it's like, so you do? Like, why are you hanging out with me? Because, like, you're like a psychotic serial killer. That's not good because I already had assumptions about why you would travel 2,000 miles to come into my life anyways. And where you're working with the government and all that stuff is a little out of bounds for someone like me. Yeah, but they specifically worded it. So I've met one person who... No, that one other person might have said the same thing. I know you don't believe. That's weird. The only two people I met who ever said anything about not believing in flying invisible reindeer, I know for sure the one, because it stuck with me. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What are you up to, Ratty? Fucking, the other one possibly might have said the same thing. I know you don't believe in flying invisible reindeer like the rest of us. That's some weird shit, bro. That's some weird shit. I've had people who didn't force it on me. Like, I think that's the difference there is people don't even say those words if it's not in their head. Like, I know someone who never talked about any of that stuff. Never said anything related to it. Like, almost like they didn't know the words, but they knew a hell of a lot of other stuff on the planet. They knew, like, real legit shit. They ran businesses, ran other people's businesses, fucking worked with Epstein and all that shit. Fucking, they actually knew shit. Fucking, think they knew shit about that shit. Fucking, because they were trying to do some things and acted all scaredy about fucking getting involved in things. But they knew a lot of shit. I'll tell you that much. Fucking, as far as their jobs and everything. Yeah, so, hope. What are you supposed to have hope for? What am I going to have a hope one day I'll get to leave America? I'm 50. I'm dead. I'm already dead. What was there hope for? When I'm 90 and on a respirator, fucking Elon Musk will give me eternal life in a robot suit or something. What the fuck would I want that for? What the fuck would I want to be here 90 years, let alone more than 90? What the fuck? And see, that's some delusional shit right there, too. That's some Santa Claus. That's part of the Santa Claus shit, is people fucking obsessed with immortality and shit. Fucking people trying to convince other people it's a good idea to live forever. As if having your memories erased when you come here isn't the first clue that you're going to have your memories erased 90 years after you come here. That should be the first clue that we're erasing people's memories every 90 years, is the fact that we're actually doing it. A pretty good clue is that it's actually happening. That's you know what? I'm not an investigator at the local police department, but sometimes I think I could probably help them with their job because I'm a pretty good sleuth myself. And I think, personally, I think the first clue to having evidence something exists is actually seeing it exist. And usually that's solid evidence. I think that's what the word solid evidence actually means, is uh, it's there, it's happening, bam. That's the evidence. The evidence that's happening is that it's happening, right? Like, if there was flying invisible reindeer in the sky right now, that would be evidence it's happening. Okay, so thinking, this would be like, what, thinking 102 or something. We don't get these type of classes in school. I think most of my classes are going to include things like don't waste your time. That's definitely not going to be something they teach you in school. Um, I don't think you could have school if it was teaching you to not go to school. Kind of it's kind of like the antithesis of school is thinking. Critical thinking versus reading a book versus watching a cartoon. School is the equivalent. Cartoons and reading books are the same thing. And what do you do when you go to school? You read books. So when you go to, and you actually do watch cartoons too, don't you? So it's the equivalent. I played video games at school too. Educational, aren't they? Probably did learn more useful things while playing the video games because I'm on a computer. And I'm the only kid who knows about computers. So I learned about computers before school, though. I didn't need school to give me 30 minutes on the computer a day when I could have, when I stay at home and I'm on a computer 20 hours a day. It's a much broader learning than going to school. So, yeah, there we go. Maybe I should create a school or something. I have like class like one day a month, and I can take place of your regular schools, and we'll just have tests. And the test will be like, I'll be asking you like all the normal questions people get, like adults get too. And like how many inches did Kim Kardashian's ass grow this week? One, A is one, two is two, or B is two, C is 3 to 5, and D is I don't know, because I don't know. And the answer is going to be I don't know. Okay, you're wrong. Kim Kardashian's ass could have grown however much it wants, but the only correct answer to the question, how many inches did Kim Kardashian's ass grow this week, is I don't know. If someone actually knows that, they've failed the test. If I will grade you even worse if you got the correct answer. If I look it up and I find out Kim Kardashian's ass grew 2 inches the last week, and you chose two as the answer, you're going to get a worse score than a person who chose 1 or 3 to 5, because knowing that means you've failed school. So I'd say we create a school just like that. Like what did Donald Trump say this week? A, B, C, D. D is I don't know. I'm going to give you a little hint here. I think most answers are going to end up being D. It'll be real easy, and this will show you a sign of competence too. This is real schooling here too. If you can remember the words I'm saying and write that down, then you pass. That's what school is. So I can tell you right now that all the answers are going to be I don't know. Because if you know that shit, then you're uneducatable. Your head's filled with shit. You have failed school. You have failed school. So the answer will be I don't know every time. And that's the school of learning. Shit, bro. Real school, real thinking. Imagine that. There ain't no profits to be had. There ain't no propaganda. I don't have mercenaries, Blackwater, or the U.S. military paying me to show you videos of their wars and take donations to give them some kickbacks. So I won't have all that sort of great funding that public schools get, or private schools, because it's so different because they call it private. It's literally straight to the colonizer and shit. Fucking, it's even more. If you're rich, the colonizer needs your money even more because you've got it, and the system squeezes all the milk out of the cow's tit it can. If it's a little weak cow, they stop draining it once they've gotten half a cup of milk out of it. If it's a big fat cow, just keep draining it. It's a Hulk Hogan method. So, this is Critical Thinking 101, 102. And we should create a school for this. And it would be replaceable for real school, for real school. It'll be a replacement for real school. And we can compare, I guarantee you, I'll be selective too about who's allowed in. Like if you do bad, like I'll suggest we'll have to expel you and send you back to public school, back to government school. So I guarantee you we can get real good grades there and shit. It's going to be real simple stuff. It'd probably take a lot more time to figure out how many inches Kim Kardashian's buttocks have grown this week than it will to just simply do something of value and say I don't know. Seems like it could be easier for me. It's actually not easier to go do something, because if you don't go do something, what's going to happen is the radio and the TV is going to end up telling you how many inches Kim Kardashian's buttocks grew out this week. So if you're not doing anything, you're going to be sitting around, and they're going to be telling you the answers to this shit, and I'm going to be able to figure that out because you're going to be writing the fucking answers down and shit. So there we go. Real school, real thinking, critical thoughts. Critical thoughts would be required. If the world were real, I don't think it could operate. I don't think it could exist the way it is. That's one of those clues, besides the obvious shit that's been happening in the past 4 years. or a lot longer, but especially in the open for everyone to see the past 4 years. Um, I think that's one of those flaws in the story is where it it couldn't create it couldn't be exist like that. It couldn't maintain itself unless it was a self-sustaining system that didn't quite work as advertised. It's like when I'm in certain nations and I don't ever see a delivery truck. I take my time to be awake 24 hours a day, some days to see what's going on. And I don't see, I see like one or two small, mid-sized delivery trucks. In like a nation with more people, with as much people as Philadelphia or New York. And I'm like, what? How those shelves get stocked? How does that happen? There's not even trucks driving into town. Like the town is people who walk. Who walk. And walk a bunch of walking areas. Hell, I don't know if the streets are even big enough for large semi trucks to be driving now. That's weird. I see more trucks in this small city by far. I can go outside right now and watch trucks drive by. I was in that place for months, and I specifically remember seeing, I think, 3 trucks. I remember seeing one, and there was at least another one that day, and then there was probably a third one. And that was in like a smaller, it wasn't really, it was still pretty packed suburb-ish area. I think that's one of those things that point out to, I don't think it could work. If you had a bunch of people who are deceived into, who talk about and believe in invisible reindeers, and how do they get to the point where they think that gas fills a car tank and brakes stop a car, and then how do you work on that? How do you make that happen? It seems counterproductive to where you would go. That's the type of stuff I would teach someone if I wanted them to not be able to do anything without my help. If I go and teach you that my car is a magic carpet, and I never teach you how to build a car or anything like that. But I'd be doing that to keep you reliant upon me being the builder of the car. So, great talk, right? Always great talks. Always. Anyways, I haven't had enough drugs today, so I'm not very full of hope and dope. I'm not very full of dope today. Apparently, like, the aliens have access to us and they can alter that shit. So, just realize, like, if their side of the story is real, that they've existed for 6,000 years, then they've had this technology for 6,000 years. And that means they have technology from 6,000 years in the future. That's the only way to explain how the sun and weather can change, move around the sky and shit like that. Is that all this stuff is pennies on the dollar to what's really available and shit. Their need to own everything on the planet and bomb and kill Germans when they invent technology for the first time in the world. All that shit adds up there to pretty much the basics of what seems to be going on. I don't get it. I mean, I make assumptions for why everyone I know has white skin and dark hair, and they all are on board with all the colonizer bullshit. I can just make the assumption that that's because it's all the white people with the dark features, and that's what their people do, and that's the only thing they're capable of. Um, but we don't have that in writing. We're definitely not going to get it in writing from them, are we? They've already put Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in writing. That's as far as we're going to get when we start asking them what they're up to. What you do is you watch them or you watch Rudolph, and you'll figure out what Rudolph's up to by watching him, not listening to him as flapping his trap in a cartoon show. And listen to the listen to the few words they say in between the manipulations and the illusions, and it will tell you what they're after. Because most people aren't just psycho homeless people who spin in a circle screaming all day about invisible reindeer. They say other words in between when they're discussing that shit with you, and those words are the only thing, are the reasons why they're talking about flying invisible reindeer. The other words they say, they're, it's well-known fact, pedos offer kids candy to get them and their sleigh. And so why are these people offering kids candy and pretty cute My Little Pony, invisible flying My Little Ponies? I was taught by them why you would. They were the ones who told me to be wary. Just like they're the ones telling you not to sell your soul, and then they're demanding your fucking soul. They're the ones telling you what not to do, and then they're telling you to do it. And then they have that, oh, but you let the vampire in, so you deserve what we do to you. I don't think the Native Americans let the vampire in. I don't think the Palestinians let the vampire. Well, they had their church there, but I guess at that point in time, when I see that, I'm like, well, you let the vampire in, didn't you? What you didn't expect they were going to bomb you eventually? What do you think they were coming over to visit you for in the first place? To give your kids candy for free? Yes, everyone goes around giving kids candy for free. No, we were warned about people who do that. They say don't accept candy from strangers. Literally, they say that. But and the strangest people you can meet is some homeless crack addict who's running around screaming about flying fucking invisible rodents. That's the strangest person you could have ever meet. Have you ever even met a person that strange yet? Think about it. Have you? Well, yeah, you really have, haven't you? But think about it. You're going to deny that you've ever met a person like that because it's just so strange and fucked up that you would remember it. Wow, that's a crazy person. All of a sudden, though, you get fucking crackheads running around for thousands of years offering kids candy, invisible flying ponies, and bam, you've got America. You got the whole fucking world and shit. You got the whole Western Empire for sure. At least. Obviously, they got bases and in other nations and shit, but looking it up, it's not. Some people have their six-armed elephant warrior is bringing the kids candy. So not everyone has a flying invisible My Little Pony is bringing the little girls candy. predatory tactics. Predators have distinct tactics. The predators, the people I know who spread that stuff, are the ones who told me. Because, like I said, that one motherfucker telling me, "Oh, say you want your soul, give me your soul." Like, it's like you should space that out. At least put two sentences between it. Put like a paragraph between it. How wait, you've accosted me for an hour now. You could have started the conversation with that, and then an hour later brought up. You don't say, "Don't give people your soul," and then "Give me your soul now or die." Don't give anyone your soul because Satan wants it. But give me your soul and your money and your children or die. Here's some candy. I've got some candy. And that weird people will be like, this has been happening. I didn't notice that till 2020 that people will come up to you and pretty much identify that they're bad people and they're going to rob you. Like, they'll practically tell you. I was like 2022 and like someone, I had already learned that. Like, wow, this is actually happening. It's like they're all bought on a script and they're being forced to, the dialogue in them or something is being forced. Like, this is the dumbest thing ever for them to do this. But it is what it is. You already know that. You don't warn people about child predators with their candy vans, and then try to manipulate a child with candy. Like, that was literally my first thought in talking to these people. Is like, I'm like a little kid, and I'm like, damn, you're a child fucking predator. And it's because they taught me what the fuck a child predator was. Right? They told me how child predators move and act and what they do, their techniques, how they bait you. And then they do it. So, yeah, that's great. This is amazing. Amazing time to be alive, isn't it? We got a new version of Pong out. You guys remember Pong, that Atari video game from the 1980s, where you hit a ball back and forth? Before the 1980s, they had this thing called tennis and racquetball, where people hit a ball back and forth. They got a new version now, and Pong was black and white, and this thing's got color to it. It's got a lot more than one ball, and it's got a lot more than one paddle, two paddles. It's actually only got two paddles. Wait till the one with 3 or 4 paddles come out. We'll be in the future then. We'll be colonizing Mars a week after that happens. Yeah. It's so weird. Like, people who work with flying invisible reindeer and invisible fat people, rocket slaves, need all this money to go colonize Mars, to go to the space heavens, right? Like, see, I think the flaw there is people who are schizophrenic and hallucinating and seeing invisible reindeer all the time. I am going to make the argument that their minds aren't going to be clear enough to make things like vehicles. They're going to be hallucinating and tripping out all day. And their neural synapses are going to be very broken and misfiring. And generally, they'll probably need their, what is that? Elon Musk is on, not Xanax. Ketamine. They're going to need their ketamine, or Xanax, which is just going to knock them out. It doesn't make them able to think. And those drugs are designed to knock people's brains out so their brain doesn't work. That's how those things work. Your brain is messed up. You take the downer to stop your brain from working because that's the only way to fix it. There's no drug to take it that's going to fix your brain. It's not going to. You can't shoot yourself in the head and take a pill and it rebuilds all the neural synapses. Once you've taken all that acid and huffed all that paint, and NASA hires you to talk about an invisible flying reindeer, there's no coming back. There's no anti-acid. There's no anti-paint huffing pills that they've invented. Once you've gone that far that NASA can come recruit you to do that, I don't think you're going to be able to build a rocket. On a really complex rocket. It's where their Tylenol addict stories come from, where they have to create excuses for how they act and shit, and normalize it. And science has normalized pain huffing and pain huffer genetics as acceptable. Great of science to be exactly like religion. Great of it. It's new. It's for thinking people, because that's what fucking working with invisible flying reindeer and rockets on Santa Claus spaceship is. It's for thinking people. Science is for thinking people, bro. That's not for those retards who don't see fucking invisible fucking My Little Ponies flying through the air. What the fuck? Those people can't make up. Those people are dumb. That's how Earth exists. You go up to someone who can have a thought, and you're like, oh, you got a thought? This used to be common sense back in the 80s. Oh, this is how Earth was created, pretty much. Oh, you've got a thought? Whack. Well, I've got a club, and you're dead. You dumbass. You take your book to hell with you. Literally, Earth summed up. These are the lessons taught at birth by the predators, by the people using predatory tactics. Weirdo. They'll be the ones teaching you what they're doing. I mean, literally, they do. Why do they do that too? Like, who are the people who wrote on the internet that they're going to ambush and try to kill me? It was probably the same computer operating those moron bots who fucking did it. Fucking damn! What a bunch of fucking idiots. Just like, who's designing these idiots to teach you about child predators? Who's designing child predators to teach you about child predators? Fucking, are they really that dumb that they're not smart enough to release to think, oh, I've got to tell this child what predators are and then prey upon them. They're not having those are complex thoughts for a motherfucking invisible My Little Pony person. Fucking, those are real complex thoughts and shit. And it's not a complex thought, but I'm saying, pain huffers aren't having fucking deep introspective thoughts like, the sky is blue today. Pain huffers' thoughts are thoughts like, that's what's going on in their head. So that's weird that the pain huffers would be doing that for karmic release. And again, the karmic is more their bullshit. Okay, so when Dewey Klotz died, it wasn't karma. He wasn't dying because the actions he made that day. He was dying because those were set up events months in advance for him to come try to attack me and me get funded, get a windfall of a bunch of money to pay for the mess he leaves behind. It wasn't, it sure looked like karma, didn't it? It sure looked like karma. You hit someone till you die from it. You try to kill someone and you slip on a banana peel, trying to, and you die. Sure looks like karma until you realize it sure ain't karma when the crackheads I'm in a war against fucking I have no fucking brain power to write on organize. They literally stumbling, half of them are stumbling around the streets like heroin, give me 10 milligrams straight to the heart. I need 10 million heroines and some meth and crack. Those people don't even know how to spell PC. They ain't getting on the goddamn Google and changing the fucking maps at Google's headquarters. Ain't anonymous hacking into it to write down they're going to ambush me a month in advance and shit. That's just non-existent crack babies. Fucking, their brains are like watching an egg get cooked. That's... Can that egg do anything? Fuck no, it can't. It ain't getting on Google. It ain't changing shit. It's a crack baby. It was developed in the womb as a fried egg, a burnt egg. The mother smokes crack, inhales spray paint, and it goes into the bloodstream of the egg and it fries it. And what happens if you put a baby in a frying pan? Well, it's fried, isn't it? Well, put it in a frying pan when it's a little weak spot of water. And now it's really fried. Fucking, it's not doing that shit. It's coming from the crack baby manufacturer in the sky, which is probably fake. So the computer generating them. Fucking. They definitely are spray paint people. I'll tell you that. Fucking. Who else can invent all this delusional shit other than a bunch of fucking sick, degenerate fuckers who have fried fucking brains? That's some truth for you. That's some truth. People should be fucking more adamant about these truths too. Putting an end to all this shit. We'll leave big, open, empty space where people won't be able to fucking yap about nonsense without being kicked out of the community. And then you can talk about real sense and get real things done. But while we're busy talking about flying invisible reindeers and huffing paint and baiting children with candy and shit, 6 months of the fucking year, 6 months, half your fucking life wasted with crackheads. And this is a large number. Fucking flying invisible reindeer, My Little Pony, fucking glow in the dark shit is it's just one of their billion talking points. And but it shines an example. It's a great example on what the person inside the computer is capable of doing and willing to do, wants to do, decides to do. They decide to convince other people, convince children that flying invisible My Little Ponies are real. They spend their lives doing this. They don't spend their time doing other things. They don't go read a math book. They don't go build a house. They spend a lot of their time on that shit. And now, so there would be a purpose. So why do you go build a house? So you have a house to live in. Could that be any way related to flying invisible reindeer? It sure could be, because it's part of cult that fucking takes money from people. And that's where their houses come from. That one leader of the invisible flying reindeer cult, Pastor Olstein, he's got what, 3 Ferraris and a bunch of mansions. And his church is like a mega mansion. So so other people are out there working to build a house, and this dude spends his time inventing flying reindeer stories to get those people to give him money so he can just go buy a house. He doesn't have to work to build the house. He's just saying, give me your money because flying invisible reindeer said so. And people are like, oh my God. Oh, and there's threats. This Santa's going to dump hot coal on you, bro. If you don't give me your money so I can get 3 Ferraris and a couple mansions. And everyone's like, oh my God, really? Oh shit, bro, I don't want to die. I want to live forever, so I better give you my money. So you can get some Ferraris and fucking mansions and shit, bro. Oh yeah. Oh, well, there we go. That was real simple to link together, wasn't it? Some people go build houses, and some people talk about a bunch of fucking bullshit flying invisible reindeer, fucking My Little Pony shit, to bait you into bringing your fucking children around for them to have sex with and give them money so you can buy them a fucking mansion. Boy, I don't need to fucking run that fucking on the airways 24 fucking 7, write 20 fucking million billion books about it, create fucking 7,000 different religions, run 219 different governments, run 7 million different fucking TV channels, create 70 trillion different YouTube videos to tell you that fact. Why is it I don't have to create that many videos and fucking books and movies and radio stations and governments to tell you that fact, for that to be a fact? But these motherfuckers create all this shit to tell you all that shit over and over and over, endless, when if it was a fact, they could tell you it once and people would be like, oh, it's a fact. You just know it. See, there's a difference there. I say it once, fact, or not. They say it every day, all day long, and there's never going to be any facts. The only fact they got is someone's going to kill you if you don't worship them. Someone's going to do it. But then they lie about who's going to do it. It's going to be them. They're going to do it. They've already done it. That's why it's there in the first place. Because they've already done it. That's why people talk about their shit. Because they'll kill you if you don't talk about flying invisible My Little Ponies that glow in the dark. If you don't, they'll kill you if you don't let them hand out candy to your fucking children. They'll kill you. They'll kill you. How many people did they just kill? How many people do you think died in those pictures of that city that's all just like dust? Like a few pieces of concrete left and then a bunch of dust and tiny rocks. How many people do you think died in that fucking nation? There's a lot of fucking people there, supposedly. And they killed them. Those people probably accepted all that shit. They showed you that. They had the church there, and they just fucking took off the top of it for fun. They wanted to show you that in their media, that they don't care. That you're still going to die. Even if you go along, you're still going to die when you're standing on land that they want to be standing on. If you're not providing enough for them. If you're not giving enough to them. If you're not teaching your children about the joys of flying invisible, glow-in-the-dark My Little Ponies. You see, it just doesn't make sense that this world could be real. Because all this shit would have been at an end to it. There would have never been a beginning to it. The first time someone comes up talk to you some shit like that, they're not allowed around you. Where does this begin? Where does this begin that some crackhead paint huffer is running around screaming about shit like this? And anyone talks to them. I mean, if this Rome place existed, they would have had soldiers. But Rome did this. Rome created invisible people. Rome is who forced other people to worship invisible people and fucking the herpes, the messenger and shit like that. They are that. So if Rome wasn't trash, the stories of people of Rome, because Rome was great, amazing, peace, love, hope colonizers. If they weren't actually trash, you think they would have squashed shit like that. But instead they flourished on it. Rome exists because flying invisible My Little Pony stories. It was their plan. It was their idea to kill everyone who doesn't say they see flying invisible My Little Ponies. When Romans tell you to see flying invisible My Little Ponies, you either see them or you die. And that was thousands of years ago. And they weren't the first people to do that. They were just changing the words and the stories around. They were changing the tactics slightly. And first well-known people. So that's where it comes from, right? I almost felt bad because someone who didn't look 100%, didn't look a lot like those other people, was talking to me about that and shit, and I was like, yeah, and no, I don't believe in that stuff. And I was like, wow, like the colonized sometimes can be worse because you never know when one of them's trying to climb the ladder. They think like, because they do that thing where they offer you the ladder and shit, and you don't know they're going to kick the ladder off the side of the building till you get to the top. When they kick you off the side of the building, and then you die because you fall so far off the ladder. You never know when someone will be trying extra hard to work for massa, and I mean, there are some people who get rich and famous. They put those one out of every billion people on TV who are rich and famous now, and because of hard work and dedication and talent. It's all that talent. It's always talent. I don't know if they ever use that word in Hollywood, do they? A couple actors, maybe. Anyway, so, yeah, there we go. Colonization starts with, these days, colonization starts with colonized people forcing other people to colonize themselves for them, hoping they get, like benefits from the colonized. And when the fact is, it's going to be the same thing because they've never been capable of doing much else. And I can't say it's failed, so why would they want to change? I mean, where have they failed if I go outside and the colonizer symbols are everywhere? Where has it failed? If I have to hear about this shit 24 fucking 7, at least 6 months a year, if I don't go outside. If I don't go outside, I'll be hearing about it 6 months a year, right? 3 months for the winter quarter and 3 months for the spring quarter. Fucking And even then, that's still if I'm avoiding the internet. If I'm avoiding the internet too. If I just go to the news site, I'll still get, some updates on the flying ponies. If I just go to the science websites, I'll still get updates on flying invisible ponies and shit. They might leave a lot of other stuff out, but they still bring that in. And that's a gateway, that's the candy. They got to give you the candy to get you in the van. Because when the old dirty pedophile comes up and says, "Hey kid, get in the van," it doesn't sound appealing. Candy sounds appealing. You can't be like, "Hey kid, in the van, there's some really good stuff. It's like heaven on earth here in the van." I'm not sure how many kids, a couple kids would probably fall for that, probably. But you gotta be like, "I got some Kit Kats, man. They got some Kit Kats. There's an invisible pony in here, bro. Come on, little girl. You know you like invisible ponies. Fucking, they glow in the dark too. Fucking, yup. There we go. I wonder why the colonizer has never wrote a book in any of the media or produced any videos or any radio cast explaining to you what a colonizer is and what they're really up to. I wonder why that is. How come the colonizer schools have never educated me on the simple, obvious things I can see happening on the planet and going on? I wonder why they don't do that. I mean, they write so many books and make so many videos, and they run so many cults, and they run so many. They own everything because they prevent everyone they've killed, which is everyone on the planet at this point, from doing anything or owning anything. So, tell me, why do you think the colonizers don't tell you what colonization is and their tactics? And well, the only reason is because it's weak and cowardice. If it was like, you could accept like those delusional stories that Rome was like conquerors and they went around killing people. Obviously, we know these people are those people. So we know that's like they had their controlled opposition already. They were separate from those people, but yet they are those people. Supposedly the colonizers defeated the colonizers in the battle for colonizer supremacy. And the colonizers who won are the ones who make up delusion, the crackheads who make up delusions. And the colonizers who are lost are strong, proud, brave warriors, violent savages. And other ones are also violent savages. They're just not strong, proud, brave warriors. So, yeah, there we go. So, strong, proud, brave warriors lost first, delusional, pain-huffing psychopaths. Yeah, likely story. Oh, those pain-huffing psychopaths. Oh my God, they're so well organized and working together. Oh, yeah. Well, man, I can't wait to die and forget about this place. That's all I think of really all the time. Is, as soon as we can erase our memory of this place, I guarantee you that no other existing plane has such drama. That would suck if that's all there is for all of existence, pain-huffing psychopaths. Child predators, pain-huffing child predators. Of course, we're not children in reality, right? The only thing childlike about this place is when we erase our memories to come here, to immerse ourselves in it to convince, so we don't instantly see how fake it is. And of course, there's probably more to the story. I went out the colonizers get to take credit for. They own the hospitals. They can drug all the children and fry their fucking brains, so bring them down to their levels and shit at birth. Don't they take every child at birth? And don't the people who claim, the largest group who claims to be on the outskirts of society and not part of it, don't they adamantly recommend to have home births? That's so odd that their people, that small group of people, are they've practically got it nailed down for the majority. Now they might be big into some of the original stuff, but if any of this other stuff is actually linked into their methods and what they're doing, then they've got that part right. Keep their children away from TV and internet and books and hospitals. Stay away from society. I actually know someone who's real close to that too, and as far as I knew, they weren't a bad person. But knowing that they're like involved in some other shit kind of makes me question that. Plus, they said some weird shit to me later in life. I wanted to see someone before they die. For some reason, every time I want to see someone around the time they die, if I ask for it, I get denied it. And it's a weird little pattern. I mean, nothing in this video, and maybe I haven't seen it enough for it to be a full pattern, but it's happened at least a couple times, and it's like, huh. It makes me wonder, we got the other connections and shit. We got the other parallels, which are obviously signs and warnings of what is happening and what they're capable of. So, when I see that, it's kind of hostile, especially when I come back to a nation. I'm traveling a few thousand miles, and my only real goal is to talk to one of those people before they die. Yeah, that makes it seem like they might be Satan possessed or something. Who knows? I'm supposed to write it off. My Little Pony is possessing people and not look at the obvious facts of what is happening and being asked for everything to be shown, and all that auto generation AI stuff came out right at the same time. Well, it's getting the start of the month. It's getting the start of My Little Ponies month. So, can't wait. Can't wait for My Little Pony to bring me some candy this year. Fucking get in the van with My Little Pony, sell my soul to My Little Pony. Because I'm not selling my soul to the person asking for it. I'm selling it to the invisible fucking flying reindeer that they work for. Not give my money to them. I am, but they're going to put in their bank account and then transfer it over to cryptocurrency, and then stealthily send it over to My Little Pony's bank account. And then My Little Pony might buy them a three Ferraris and a mansion. But no. Man. Bro. That's some fucking sick shit colonizers come up with. It's like, they do it. I'm not sure if they do it to their own kids, or if I'm like in the storyline, I'm a victim of their people destroying people who got in their system. Like I said, half my family worked with Epstein and shit, so you really don't get any higher up than that if you're a Gentile. So that was like, red flags. Plus, my dad said some red flag shit. He's like, I'm going to law school. I'm like, what are you doing that for? You're like 50 and you've got good jobs already, and you get a new good job every week on top of your own businesses. You get offered a new good job every week. What do you want that for? And then I seen some other shit. He was in that. It's like, oh, so I was thinking at first, oh, so you want to go to law school because you want to protect yourself. And then later I learned, like, oh shit, you probably didn't want to hire those lawyers because you probably thought those lawyers were Epstein's people, and they might have been railroading you with that. And then you learn they write in the Scooby-Doo books and the My Little Pony books that they rape people who would get to my dad's level by acting like they're lovers and wives. And they celebrate that every year. So they've been doing that for thousands of years since they invented it. And so I kind of make assumptions right there, because he's like on that level where My Little Pony doesn't exist, and he's never spoken a word about it. Because if you don't believe in that shit, I don't go around talking about invisible green goblins, because I don't fucking believe in it. I've never seen it. Don't think it exists. No point in talking about it. Why would I go around talking about invisible fucking green goblins to people? Now, I mean, you would know why if I started talking about it. You're like, the invisible green goblins, they're evil, and you pay me money and I'll help protect you from them. And if not, they're probably going to send someone to kill you. But you can do it on your own if you want. It's just a lot easier if you pay me money. And did you notice your windows got broke out last night after we had that talk? Yeah? Green Goblin doesn't like it when I start talking to people about him. You better pay me some protection money. It's kind of fucked up that my life falls into this. Like, the world is this. And these are the things I get to be seeing. And their little story there, too. Their opposition to their own story from the creators of the story. So it's not the opposition, it's the founders of the story. Is that the people they're after and trying to bring forth as Charlie Kirk's will be people who are not fully part of them, but people they've raped their way into, as their book prescribes them to do, all people on the planet who show signs of life, especially people who are kings, like where my dad was heading in the world. Yeah, that's kind of fucked up that understanding it's a game and visual novel that I ignore those things. But, I really don't see how participating is going to do anything anyways. Forced relations. Your friends are people forced in your life. The women are people forced in your life. Your family, some of them are trying to force their way into your life. And definitely working with the system and openly members of My Little Pony cult. I mean, that motherfucker, that was designated as evil from the start and shit. Fucking, they spared no expense in making that one's moves, the same as the moves to even aligning with the people who caused COVID. probably aligning with the people who caused 9/11. Motherfucker aligns with them. Doesn't just like try to stand by and like play. I'm not involved. Third party motherfucker aligns with them. Hostile killer. Swear up and down they're a killer now because the colonizers are fucking organized together. We've got 1 billion colonizers and you're just one fucking person. You ain't gonna do shit about this. I will kill you. You know, it gets to their fucking head, them not realizing that they're one on one, they're not a fucking killer without their fucking colonizer crew. You can tell this, in fact, their ego is fucking mad inflated and shit from this colonizer fucking history of theirs and shit. So you get even the weakest ones. So I mean, that happens because when you're so weak and coddled and over fucking protected, and you've never had to walk out into the real world once. You begin to think it's like America, we're untouchable and shit. Well, there are people in America who've never been to war, never been outside in a non-white rich suburb and shit, who have that attitude and shit ingrained into them. They seen like Mike Tyson fight on TV back in the 80s, and they're like, yeah, we're killers and shit. We are soldiers. And in reality, it's a motherfucking My Little Pony. And the game be setting this shit up where they all have, where this shit lines up, and then the information gets dropped along the way. But I can't even say for sure how much of my moves and my thoughts aren't just being like fed to me, because some of this shit is really weird. Like the shit I'm seeing and I'm talking about is weird, right? But I'm saying the lines up and the pattern of how I obtain information, sometimes it's not handed to me in like a visual format. That shit's weird. Like how I can know shit, fucking when I see something happen at once and I'm like, shit, this is going to be a reoccurring thing, right? How do I know that from the first time I fucking see it, right? How do I know that from the first fucking time? I'm being fed fucking information and shit. When I have a dream and I wake the fuck up and a person that mirroring that person is walking in front of me, and I'm thinking like, how the fuck does that happen? How did I know to have a fucking dream about a person who looks like that walking around before I fucking wake up? And I wake up and I jump the fuck up, and just in case, I'm like, yeah, that's weird. Shit's been lining up like this. I should look out. I should go outside and see if this person appears. And lo and behold, not quite that person, but real fucking close and shit. Appears. How does that shit happen? Something's happening there. I'm getting software updates myself or some shit. That's probably a huge portion of what dreams actually are, is where we're shutting down for the world to update its software and shit. That's probably the point of night. And that's why humans are supposed to be day creatures. It's because the code gets changed while they're inside. That way no one is like, oh, look, did you see that building just like transformed into a fucking parking lot overnight? If you don't see the shit changing, when the shit magically fucking appears out there, it makes me wonder, the methods of how that stuff happens. And I assume it's got something to do with that. They always talk about 3:30 a.m. the witching hour. I'm saying they're shutting your ass down. They're fucking they're updating software. And the software is what makes the buildings look like they exist, as well as fucking mines and bots appearing and shit like that. That's more reality based than flying fucking invisible My Little Pony, because we've never fucking seen flying invisible. We've never seen flying ponies. We've never seen flying invisible ponies. We've never seen a lot of the horse shit they talk about. Where I think the truth leans more towards that they're bots making up bullshit. I think that's what the truth leads towards. because they're definitely. I mean, it's two things. There are alien people who have enslaved the entire fucking planet, or they're fucking bots created in a game to appear as an alien people who have enslaved the planet. To me, uh, you know, there's no point in talking about anything else because we know the bots, the aliens, the non-humans are fucking here after 2020, don't we? That's pretty fucking easy on my part. After seeing it, I started testing it to confirm that these patterns are there and they're malleable, and how they act, how they respond, how they appear out of nowhere. And so we have that. We have that alien bot. It's really the same word. The word alien describes the word bot. So it's really the same thing. It doesn't. It doesn't even a bot. An alien doesn't even have to be an alien. How many video games you play where the alien is a bot in the video game? It's still a bot. So that, and that with mathematical probabilities, that automatically gives all the weight on the scale, just tips the weight of the scale towards bot. Because we have alien over here, we have alien bot over here, and we have bot over here, so we just take a little bit of bot off the alien, and we put that on the bot scale, dips down. The alien gets much less weight, because that's how it works. That's how mathematical probabilities work and shit. Fucking, the alien could be a bot, but the bot can't be like a green, doesn't necessarily have to be a green shapeshifter, and probably isn't. Because it's just a bot if it's a bot. It's not a alien, it's not a green slime monster. It's not the predator. It's just a bot. That's how you do math and shit there. Fucking real fucking simple. That's like one of those 2 + 1 equations and shit. Not taught to you in school. Not that way. Well, I'm sure this will turn out great, won't it? Well, I'm thankful to be tied down to the original My Little Pony child predator still. 50 years. See, you're getting like no choice in life here. If you're a living being, and now there's going to be people who say they made a choice, and I'd love to hear about these choices. They made the choice to have a child with the first woman they found, the first woman sent into their life. How do they know they made that choice if living beings are having people sent into their life? You're not making a choice. Okay? If your job is being set up, you're working for aliens, bots, you're not making a choice. Yeah. When I go apply at Red Robin, they don't hire me. I'm not making a choice. I'm not able to make the choice to go work at Red Robin. I could write a 2-page essay on my portfolio or whatever it's called, my resume. Hey, I do every time. I went to school, passed up 5 grades, got honors, blah, 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 blah. I went to college and I slept during it, and I was still the highest scorer in college. And, I worked a lot of jobs. My family ran some of the biggest restaurant businesses in the city. That's like an instant hire at a restaurant, isn't it? Because at real restaurants, it is. I worked at real restaurants. But Taco Bell's like, oh no, and they're still closed like 12 hours a day because they have no one to work for them. So, like, I'm not making the choices there, and my dumb ass is making the choice thinking that these other motherfuckers are living beings playing along and not up to some other shit. Fucking, so I'm not making that choice there. Um, so if it's happening for me, that means it's happening for other people too. I'm just the one talking about it and seeing it. And sure, you get your advancement. Like my dad got to work for Jeffrey Epstein, and he got killed too. When I went back to talk to him, they had already fucking killed him off and shit. Like right when I went back to talk to him, is when they kill him off. So, did he make that choice? He probably did. That's probably why he was scared and going to law school and shit. Probably why he had that little scared attitude every now and then. Fucking probably why he was going to law school, because he probably had learned he was involved in bigger things than he thought he was. But did he really? And that, I mean, I have to assume that's timing right there, right? You know, I'm like, hey, it's time to go ask this guy questions about what he knows. And oh, look, he's magically dying of old age now. And it just magically happens right then. Oh yeah, it's magically happened. Yeah, it magically happens. They just show up to buy my vehicle after the transmission dies, and then the new vehicle transmission dies too. When they're fucking swarming me on the West Coast, it's magical. You know, when they did that, they're trying to recruit me to be Charlie Kirk. He was talking, you know. He was like, well, now that you don't get a car, you can't go around investigating and protesting. That's the guy buying my broke down car to get it out. Now, well, you should be on a radio show we'll have a little radio show now. And I was like, I went straight to making my own video talking about that happening. Did I make the choice? What if I made a choice for myself if I had started talking to them on the radio show, and then they actually, when they killed Charlie Kirk and said they killed me, someone who looks like the person that they were trying to use Charlie Kirk to impersonate. No, I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice no matter what I did there, because they'd already fucked it all up. They'd already fucked my life up. They decided on their eBay to be the people who are the only people who see my fucking listing and come fucking get my car. And so, you know, when I go to when I go to one of their clubs to investigate them, and I start dancing with some black girls, and they kidnap me and the black ladies, when they kidnapped me to separate us. Did I make that choice? No, I didn't. And that's the way most people's. If you're going somewhere in life, this is what they've written in their Bibles. They do. They convince you that you want to be with them, and they want to be with you through methods like kidnapping, if they have to, apparently. Because they definitely did that in 2000, didn't they? So there's a lot of people out there, Dad might be one of them, who are victim to something they don't know even exists. Like that. I just know that stuff exists because they celebrate it every year, and I looked into what it was that they celebrate in their religious racial holidays. And What that is their race marries into you to kill your people off. Their family, their bloodline goes to nations and has sex with the people there and marries them. That way, their people, it can be their nation now. You're not making those choices. You're not making choices. If, if life's set up like that for thousands of years, you're not making any choice. The last person they sent to, the last girl they sent to try to bait me, can you take a guess at what color her skin was, what color her hair was, what color her eyes were? Do you think, if you've seen my other videos, that I already told you in advance for 10 years what that person would look like? Do you think I'm right? You'd be correct if you said yes. Because get off the bus, they're dressed the same as me. Fucking, and so now they're walking, and then they walk down the street most of the way I go and shit. And what do you think they look like? Do you think it was an Asian looking person or a Mexican looking person or what? What do you think they look like? They look like that person who kidnapped me. And back at that club I was investigating. Um, yeah. Wow. Who could have guessed? I must have made that decision, huh? I must have made that decision myself. Probably did. Now, I remember when I was a kid and I was making decisions that I wasn't actually making those decisions. And so I'd say, combine the two, and I'd say no. I'd say I didn't invent that person who gets off the bus dressed exactly this way out of place. Like anyone in this city's walking around like some Marvel Comics superhero looking outfit. I could see if it was at the convention center with Comic Con I went to. But generally, I I didn't see a lot of this in this city my whole life. It was pretty rare to see it. They got all the accessories I got and shit. Spoke words about shit like that too before it happened. I think I said something like, "What's the chance I meet someone? What's the chance there's someone in this city who looks like this?" Fucking, because I was like kind of insulting it, um, like how I never, when I was younger, like didn't attract people who look like me. Um, because I try to figure the game's got parameters to what it's creating. I mean, there's always the idea that the alien race is just forcing whoever of theirs in their life they can find into your life. But they got their My Little Pony stories about creating shit, and so I did kind of say that, but then that reality versus what you see going on, and adding it together. You don't just trust every shapeshifter. Well, let that be a warning. If your parents aren't warning you about that, they probably are. They're probably talking about My Little Pony, and they might be shapeshifters, so probably are. I don't know. I haven't seen the people around me quite do that. I've definitely seen the clones of them who have the same voice print and talk to me like they know me and shit, stuff like that. Definitely seen several of that. So you never know which of them. You never know, right? It's not like the My Little Pony people are being honest to begin with. So we don't know how deep their abilities actually go, what skill sets they have. Wow. This is amazing. Well, you guys enjoy your My Little Pony candy for the kids van. Um, I know the kids enjoy it, don't they? Except for some of them. Some of them always cry to me about rapists. And I had this one ex who was like crying to me she got raped and shit. And it's like, well, you did, your parents did teach you about avoiding the pain huffers, right? No? No. My parents did, but at the same time they're teaching you to go to them. It's weird how pain huffers do that shit. And so that's weird. They'll be like teaching you, like don't sell your soul, but give it to me. Don't sell your soul to Satan. Give it to me for free. For free. Yeah. Well, we're expecting, rainbow lollipops and, flying My Little Ponies. Dude, check this out. Check this out. Watch the magic work. There is flying ponies. There really is. I'm just trying to convince you there's not, because I'm trying to stifle your imagination. Oh, bro, I'm just playing games, man. I get some acid and the marijuana's in you. Man, you gotta relax, man. Believe in My Little Pony. Flying My Little Ponies. Fucking flying horses. Well, we'll be seeing the flying horse races here soon, won't we?